lemon, the baseball cap, the dark glasses, and I do a red lip, and I'm good to go.
I'm like, my legs may or may not be shaved, and I definitely need a self tan, but no one can see, so it's all good. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for today because I stalked her because I'm like that. So we have Carla Rockmore with us today. She is absolutely amazing. And if you aren't already following her, you're definitely going to want to right now. So she is, I want to give you like her little official bio here. She's a 54-year-old stylist, influencer, and jewelry designer living in Dallas, Texas. Carla's career spans over 30 years designing clothing and accessories in Montreal, Toronto, and Amsterdam while traveling the world extensively. Don't we miss that? We'll get into that. Now she has started sharing her fashion tips on TikTok. She has over 500,000 followers on TikTok. So this is amazing. Instagram and YouTube through her infectious personality and joie de vivre. So Carla, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome.
Well, my goodness, what an intro. Thank you so much.
I'm thrilled to have you. So, I mean, let's get into it. I absolutely love your videos. There's something so special about you. So I'd love to know a little bit of why you actually got started on TikTok and, what was your trajectory?
Oh, yeah, that was complete desperation. I mean, that was just full on, I am going to kill myself if I don't do something creative, because I literally, March 20th, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody remembers that. And
yeah.
I was in Jaipur, India, where I'm developing my fine jewelry collection. And I have been developing it slowly but surely for the past 3 years. And I'm the type of person, I get obsessed with work. When I'm in it, I'm in it. I don't really look up and see what's going on around in the world, around me.
Right.
And my husband's like, okay, you need to get a mask for the flight home. And I said, why? What kind of
Oopsie.
dazzle the mask? Like, what are you discussing? And yeah, I mean, I remember distinctly, I'm on the flight home, I'm looking around, everybody's in a mask. I was like, wow, we are not in Kansas anymore. Something has changed. He picked me up from the airport and we went straight into lockdown. Wow. And I watched Netflix for about 2 weeks straight and then realized that's not so good for me personally. I can't do that 24/7 and feel like I'm connected.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I had a camera and I had a 17-year-old at home to put it on YouTube. And I had my treasure chest of collection of baubles and whatnot at my disposal. And I thought, you know what? I'll just make a funny video for my girlfriends. Yeah. It was literally just going to be for my girls up north, and I'm Canadian, and that was it. It was going to be one video, and it went over so well that I did a few more. And geriatric as I am, they continued on YouTube for about 9 months. And I had my family and friends watching. And then my 17-year-old, I believe, had this idea, Ma, let's throw it on TikTok.
Right. You're like, what?
Yeah. And
were you on TikTok before?
No, I'm still not on TikTok. No, I'm not such a social media bug, funny enough. I can't, what I've realized now that I've developed a community and I've developed my own sense of style.
Yeah.
If I start trolling other people's work, I'm not going to remain true to myself, because as any designer can tell you, there is no way that you don't look at stuff and are absorbing it like a sponge. and then mixing it up in your own head and throwing it out there. So now I've got the team. So I've got some people helping me out, lovely kids, and they throw me things like the trends.
Yeah.
You know, the I'm obsessed or whatever. And I'll do those for fun, you know, to keep the youngins on TikTok involved.
I love it. Well, I love that too. I mean, I often say this, it's like, we can get inspiration from anywhere, but I always tell people to be cautious if you're getting inspiration from someone in your own field, because that is a slippery slope. And I love that that's what makes you so unique, right? Is just following your own instincts and your own, you know, personality, style, all of it. Let's talk about the closet. We have to, because it is fabulous. I mean, it's so amazing. So did you design the home with this closet? I mean, it has 2 floors, a fireplace, and a spiral staircase, like a fireplace, like goals, hashtag goals. So tell me, did you design the house with this in mind? Did it come with it? Like, I need the deets.
I cannot take all the credit. It was half done. When we first moved down to Texas, I remember looking at, is it Zillow? You know, to look for houses? And so I was scrolling and all I saw was ochre and taxidermy, ochre and taxidermy. Like, no matter what I did, I'm never going to find a house. And then this house popped up, and although the closet was mint green at the time, I could tell that I could tell there was some semblance of, there was some synergy in the department. And I said, yeah, honey, this one might work. So we came on over and I finished it up the way I like it.
Right.
But it did not, I can't take all the credit. I think it was a office. See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky that I have the square footage to have a space like this. And I don't believe anywhere but Dallas would have, or the Texas would afford me
everything's bigger in Texas
because it's just everything's bigger here.
Right. I love it. The fireplace is what gets me.
Don't get me wrong.
Say again.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like if somebody said you can have a condo the size of this in New York, I'd be like, I'm there.
Right. Having space is nice. I mean, it is nice to have space, right? I mean, especially now, let's bring it back to, you know, the COVID conversation. We're all spending a lot of time at home. So I think that people are really reflecting, you know, what do we want? What do we want to look at? How do we want to spend our time? So, you know, being surrounded by beauty and style and things that make you feel good, even if you're not doing a damn thing, is a really nice thing, right?
Absolutely. From the waist up. I mean, I am in the schlumpiest pair of sweatpants right now. Like they're 17 times too big on me. And if I bend down, my butt crack might hang out. Like they're really bad, but I'm not getting up. So I look fabulous.
I mean, we've perfected Zoom living. I'm like, my legs may or may not be shaved and I definitely need a self-tan, but no one can see, so it's all good. I want to know, your outfit videos are fantastic. I just absolutely love them. I find myself binge watching them just, you know, over and over again. Where do you wear them? Do you dress this fabulously, like to go to the market? Or is it like, is it before you're going out somewhere? I'm just curious. This is just nosiness.
I am so bad. I am one of these people who I'm either full on 100% in or full off. like full off, like scary full off. And when I get home and the door shuts, like I cannot keep the makeup on more than 10 minutes.
Right.
Everything's got to come off. I got to have the squinchy and the sweatpants. Right. But I do make an effort. I don't know if it's make an effort. For me, getting dressed creatively is more about self-expression.
Yeah, agree.
So if I'm going for lunch with a girlfriend, or if I'm going for a Saturday market, you know, other than to pick tomatoes, right? I will put some semblance of a look together. I'm not I'm not the most glamorous person in the world. My look is eclectic.
Yeah.
And so I'll mix very high end with very low end. And that just feels the most honest to me.
I love this. First of all, thank you. Thank you for saying that. It's funny. So I was sharing with you briefly before we started today. I have a 2-year-old daughter. And so the whole school drop off pickup is a new thing. And I live in Miami.
Right.
It's a look. Miami, it's a whole thing. And sometimes I have these moments, I'm like, I look like unkempt. You know what I mean? Like the roots and the, like just post-workout, just like, I got to get her there. But what I will do always with the sunglasses. So I'm just like the little white lady with the sunglasses, and I'll brush up my brows. And I'm like, good enough, like with the workout clothes, just can't be bothered.
Absolutely. I mean, the Lululemon, the baseball cap, the dark glasses, and I do a red lip, and I'm good to go.
Totally. That's key, right? The lip, some kind of structure. For me, it's the brows, because I have gray eyebrows now. And I just Googled today to find out if microblading would help. And apparently you'll still have gray eyebrows.
Really?
That's what this one article said. I'm going to call around. But I was like, what's the point? Like, I want to just wake up and be like, fabulous eyebrows. But I don't know. Anyway, is there anyone whose closet you would want to raid?
That's an interesting question.
You can combine.
Oh, I think that certain icons I would have loved to have raised. I don't know, Franca Sozzani being one of them for me. She was the editor of Italian Vogue.
Yep.
Sadly, she passed. But she was a sensational style icon. I like to look at women of reference that are not, cookie cutter, like, this is the way it's supposed to be. Diana Vreeland would be another one.
Fabulous. Yeah.
I love Diane von Furstenberg for what she's built.
She doesn't know it, but I'm like, she is like my idol. Like she's amazing. I feel like people aren't obsessed with her.
And she had nothing done. She's had nothing done.
Okay.
And you know what? And I was looking, there's this young girl, she's doing this show. I'm going to date myself. I'm very old. I don't know, but her mother is Andie MacDowell. So Andie MacDowell is in a lot of, I think her name's Margaret McDowell, the kid, who's an actress, but gorgeous. And I mean, I grew up with Andie MacDowell being gorgeous.
Sure.
Now I see her and she hasn't had a thing done. She didn't even dye her hair.
Yeah.
And I think she is looking fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a fine line. There's a fine line. And we as women have to like navigate what we are comfortable with.
So let's talk about this social media, and it is so amazing, right? For reach, for growth, for getting the message out there. I mean, there's so many amazing things about social media. And as we know, it's a really scary place for young women and young girls. So I'd love to hear from you. What advice would you give to someone that is a younger woman, younger girl, that is finding her own way with beauty and social media, whether it's like for one of my viewers' daughters, or if that's the person? What would you say, Carla?
It's not even what I would say, but I make it a mission. There's a mission to help with, I believe that I've got a platform now that allows me to express myself, but also gives me a responsibility. Okay. To women.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm 54 years old and I have a perspective that a lot of younger women don't have.
Yeah.
And I also have these two very active and interesting platforms. And I see the difference of the responses, the comments, the likes, my age group on my platforms. And what I would say to these young girls is I would not trade my experience and my insight that I have gained being on this earth for all these years for my 20-year-old posterior if you paid me.
No.
Now,
amen. Amen.
Really, at the end of the day, the trade-off is tenfold. I would also tell them that there is life after 25.
Yes.
It only gets better if you cultivate something that you love, which I think is seriously important for women.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be your job. It needs to be something you enjoy doing every day for an hour that takes you away from the rest of it and quiets the crazy. Because
I love,
as women, we have crazy. You
Oh,
know, we have to take care of everybody and everything.
Yes.
So, you know,
I mean, first of all, that's amazing advice for anyone. I don't care if you're 45, 55, 65, 95. That's amazing advice. Thank you for that. That's one of the things that God, we're going to go down a rabbit hole here, but I love that about you. You know, I'm 46, soon to be 47 next month, which is bananas to me. And I am very, you know, I come from a background where I was a performer. And I remember having to lie about my age when I was 22, 23, going to auditions. They would say you're 19. Just, you know, say you're 19, like da da da. And I really feel like that's one of the reasons when I created my own platform of being like, this is my age. And I am so proud of this age because exactly like you, it's like, it only gets better. I don't want to be that, you know, insecure, confused, you know, having a lot of fun, sure, but like 20-year-old again. And I think that it's so, I mean, I thank you so much for being a voice for a woman who is absolutely fabulous and in her 50s and not that, I don't know. I think sometimes there's this like image of like what we become when we're like, we're supposed to get a certain kind of haircut or style ourselves in a certain way or whatever. And it's like, says who? Says freaking who? Like, why? Why would we do that?
I don't know. I mean, I can't figure it out. I mean, when you think back to other cultures outside of North America, the elderly, quote unquote, are revered.
Yes.
Okay. And you know, when I post something on TikTok, especially, I do get a lot of, if I'm not you when I grow up, I don't want it type of thing.
Right. Yeah. Spoken in a very TikTok way.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. And the whole millennial thing with the acronym, I don't know what they are saying, but okay. I make it a point to try as often as possible to talk with them and open the dialogue and say, no, you're going to be you.
Yeah.
You're going to be the best version of you, not me.
Yeah.
Another thing that sort of freaks me out a little bit, I must say, is I get a lot of, this is my safe, you're my safe account. I feel like I'm talking to my therapist or like you call me. And I think what they're saying, I think what they're saying or what they're feeling is the young girls are bombarded with so many sexualized, over-sexualized images constantly on everybody else's platform that they feel somewhat comforted when they come to mine because I'm not in a G-string, somewhat sadly. Okay. I'm not in the G-string. Right. And I mean, at 54, there is a point where there are certain things you can't pull off anymore. So everybody can wear what I show. for the
Yeah.
most part. You know?
That's so interesting. I never would have thought that, but I totally get it, you
It's
know?
scary. It's
Yeah,
very,
it really, I mean, it's the thing that keeps me up at night. I'm not gonna lie, like thinking about this, and then I just have to remind myself, you know, especially when it comes to my daughter, it's like she's only 2. She will have her own path, and who knows what's going to be happening. And you know, these conversations like this are really important. And yeah, oh my gosh, like it's
I
just
was very, very lucky. Both of us were. We
yeah,
didn't grow up
mm,
with this pressure. When
no,
we left, school, we got a break.
yeah,
These kids aren't getting a break.
no,
And um, hopefully there are people in their lives that can guide them to the good, or the more women out there like us who are free speaking and not all about the superfluous
yes,
around us.
yeah,
I think the more powerful they will be.
absolutely. Um, s- do you find one of the things that really helped me, I remember in my late 20s when I started traveling a lot. And as you said, you know, it's not North America, right? And for me, a big turning point for me, I'm Italian American. I spent, and back in the days, a lot of time in Italy. It was like every summer I was like, okay, there I am. And that hasn't happened in the last few years. Not bitter at all. I'm so effing bitter. I can't even speak about it. But that was, I will never forget this. It was a turning point for me because I remember seeing a woman who was so gorgeous, so fabulous, like sitting at, you know, a cafe in this tiny little town, like tan, probably smoking a cigarette. Don't smoke, that's gross, but it was Italy and, you know, people do their thing. Dress like caftan over like her bathing suit, bikini, you know, not a little skinny sticky. And I was a Pilates instructor at the time on the Upper East Side in Manhattan, you know, training a lot of people, but she had this elegance, this confidence, this just, and I was like, you know, that is what I want. Like you could tell that she was like, I like who I am and I'm really good with it. And I was like, so my friend and I would call her the hot Zia, which means aunt. Anytime we were like, hot Zia, like she's so just has this like, and that was, I was like, that's what I want. That's what I want to live into. Did you ever like, was travel a big thing for you in broadening your perception, or, you know, tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I traveled to Florida and that was it until I was 19, because I
Uh-huh.
didn't come from a wealthy family and we
Right.
didn't travel a lot.
Yeah.
As soon as I got my first job as an assistant designer for licensed children's sleepwear, when I was 21 years old, I
Uh-huh.
would start traveling.
Yeah.
And my first spot was Pakistan.
Interesting.
Yes, it was Pakistan in the early 90s. So think about this.
Wow.
I'm 22 years old. I'm inspecting hundreds of thousands of licensed children's sleepwear that I designed that were going to be sold to Zellers and
Right.
Walmart, and it was a low
Mhm.
type of thing.
Sure.
And I'm in full Shirakamis,
Uh-huh.
right?
Wow.
And I've got a bodyguard pick me up, take me to the factories, work with the makers, and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a very eye-opening experience for so many reasons. The
Yeah.
cultural is this, that, the
Gender. Everything.
pushback I would get as a young woman telling them what to do.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
though, I mean, Pakistan, India, China, Hong Kong, and then all the European countries
Mm-hmm.
um, on the way. So I
Yeah.
would do my sampling and styling trips in
Mhm.
Europe, and then I would go over to the East to
Mhm.
produce.
Right.
And I did that from my early 20s until I had kids, and I had kids late. I was 36
Mm-hmm.
when I had my first son.
Mm-hmm.
So, or 34, I don't know, I'm not good in
I
math,
love that.
something
Coming
like
from a New Yorker, I'm like, honey, a babe in the woods. New York, it's like if you have a kid before 40, it's like child bride.
Right. But in those days, I mean,
Yeah.
really, in those days, it was like everybody else was married. I didn't even think about it. Like
Yeah.
it just wasn't in my, because I was traveling and
Yeah.
eating and doing the most amazing things.
Mhm.
So yes, I would say that that experience absolutely cultivated who I am for sure, made me very globally aware, globally interested in
Mhm.
all kinds of aesthetics.
Yeah. What advice, what's if there's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self, what would you say?
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. I mean, oh my God, was I stunning?
Mm.
Like really? Like,
Yeah.
you know what? Don't be so freaking hard on yourself because, you know, aesthetically, we are more beautiful when we're younger. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So enjoy your life. I remember I was on a styling trip. I don't remember where it was. All I remember is it was for baseball,
Mhm.
and because I would do like MLB and
Yeah.
whatnot. Um, and I met a guy. Okay, I think I was 26 years old,
Right.
and I met a guy at like the licensing meeting, and he
Right.
asked me out for that night. And I said, sure, no problem. I'd love to go. And that night, I mean, everybody will understand, that night, I'm in my hotel room, my cheap little hotel room somewhere in, I don't know where I was, Milwaukee, I don't know.
Right.
All I know is my makeup case was not in my bag.
Oh.
The entire makeup case. I forgot everything, like everything. Okay. And I was in a shower in a towel, and I didn't have a blow dryer, and I didn't have a concealer, and I didn't have a lipstick. And I remember like the sweat starting to like drip profusely as I thought to myself, and I was working for a very cheap company at the time. So they had me in like Motel 6. And I'm like,
Right.
how am I going to get something?
Right.
And I ran down, like, yeah. And I ran down to 7-Eleven, and there was nothing. I was in the middle of nowhere. And I bought gummy bears, those little cherries.
Stop it.
Oh yes, I was that insane. I sort of wet the gummy bears with my spit, and then I mean I put a little blush and
Oh
a
my
little
God.
lip gloss, and that was
Oh.
it. And but I was mortified. I was absolutely mortified. And I remember distinctly, I said, I'm so sorry. I was 26. I forgot all my makeup. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God, like you're
Right.
not worthy. You're
Because
not
he
worthy of him.
right.
Right? And he was like, what? What?
Yeah.
Like it didn't even
Occur.
faze him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Go easy on yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, look, I think it's a good reminder at any age, right? Because as you know spoke into a little bit ago, it's, you know, we as women, we take care of everything, we take care of everyone, we're, you know, a lot of mental load on us no matter what. And I think it's just a good reminder at any age. You know, obviously on my channel we talk a lot about fitness and wellness. Do you have a fitness routine? Is there something that you like doing? Like what's your, because you obviously look fantastic and healthy and lovely. What's your
Thank
secret?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have a fitness routine. I've never stopped moving. In my 20s, I was on speakers. So there you go. So I didn't actually get into a fitness routine until I was in my 30s.
Uh-huh.
I feel like for me, an hour a day of
Mhm.
sweat, even sometimes if it's not sweat, even sometimes if it's yoga,
Yep.
I absolutely need it for my mental health. So
Yes.
I will probably do 2 days a week. I sort of flip it up.
Mhm.
So, and I'll listen to my body. Finally, I'll listen to my body.
Take notes.
Years, years I tortured myself, ladies, with certain really hardcore exercises, and then I'd be in pain on my neck. I have a neck thing.
Mhm.
For 25 years. What kind of bozo was I to not pick up weight training before my early 40s because I didn't want to bulk up. I mean, ridiculousness.
Yeah.
So I do like 2 days a week, Peloton and then Pilates. I like to mix the two. I do no more than 20 minutes Peloton because guess what? My body doesn't work well walking wise if I do more than 20 minutes. Why would I do 20 minutes? And then I'll do half an hour of Pilates. That's 2 days a week.
Love.
The other 2 days a week, I will do weight training. So love that. Put on my little earphones, or maybe I'll watch The View, and I used to go to a gym. But then COVID happened. So I bought some free weights and I'm happier. I'm not going back to the gym and I have the same results. Hello.
What do you think are top 5 pieces, or top pieces if you don't want to do 5, that every woman must have to just look stylish and chic and like herself?
Okay, so I have a hard time with this question because I believe that it's really personal. And I can say a Burberry trench coat and I can say the Chanel ballet flat. But if it ain't speaking to you, then how can it be an essential? So I think first thing you have to do is give yourself permission to buy the same thing times 10 in 17 different colors and patterns and weight. Okay?
Yes! I love that.
Because if it looks good on you and you like it, why kill yourself to find, a different one every season?
I can feel the collective sigh of relief right now. Honestly, I can feel everyone just being like, oh, thank God I'm not doing it wrong.
The most amazing thing I heard, which I adore, and I'm going to start challenging myself to do it because I'm a Gemini and always need like something sparkly to take my attention.
Oh my goodness.
Like something always new. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if this is true. Anna Wintour supposedly, don't know, read it. She'll take like 5 outfits, head to toe, fully done for the week. Like, this is what I'm going to wear Monday. This is what I'm going to wear Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then repeat them. So every Monday she's wearing the same outfit and every Tuesday she's wearing the same outfit. Hello?
What?
Yeah. Well, now I don't know if it's true, but I love the concept.
But it's kind of great.
It is beyond great because what it does is it allows you to spend on some luxury that you feel will last the whole season. You'll get so much use out of it, whatever those are. You'll save time thinking about what to put together every morning because it'll already be vetted.
Exactly.
Right? And you're helping the environment. Like, it's not constant. And so I don't know. We shall see. I mean, here I am, big talker.
I mean, listen, I love it. We'll stay tuned. We'll see. I think that would be a fantastic video too. Like that, like seeing, okay, this is what I'm doing this week, and then how you mix it up, because you have with your jewelry collection and with every, I'm sure it won't look the same. You'll be able to dress. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. I love that. But you do touch on a great point though, especially again, bringing it back to the social media conversation, the pressure of that too. I feel that all the time with, not wanting to have the same thing on video. And it's like, you're supposed to wear things more than once. Like, what planet do we live on where it's like you wear it once and you could never wear it again? That drives me crazy. And I think, again, so many people feel that pressure, like, oh, if it was on this photo, like it's dead to me now, or I can't, and so sustainability, it's important.
Yeah, I think that's again a North American concept, because I remember in Amsterdam, I was working at a fabulous couture house, and they carried their line and they carried Jean Paul Gaultier. Those were the two lines that were carried. And I was like 26.
Yeah.
And, I was young. And I didn't have a fortune to spend,
Yeah.
but I saved up for this sweater, this Jean Paul Gaultier sweater.
Uh-huh.
It cost like 3 weeks pay.
Yeah.
I still have it. I still wear it.
Yeah.
And it still looks fabulous.
Mm.
And I learned from those girls back then, because it didn't matter if they were a shopkeeper, a sales girl, a waitress, or the Queen of Sheba.
Mhm.
They ended up saving and purchasing for what they loved,
Yes.
and then wearing it over and over and over again with no apologies.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I feel about vintage, because I go deep into
Mhm. Yes.
there's a lot of vintage in my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because it speaks to me,
Mm.
and because it wasn't created yesterday,
Yeah.
it gives me the right to wear it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So I'm a huge fan of vintage stuff. I used to, obviously, like when I was in my 20s, huge vintage person, because I had no money, right? But I'll never forget, I remember I had this fabulous coat. It was one of my favorite, I wore it to death. Literally, it was like destroyed. Of course, now I would have the money to actually reline it. But at the time, I just was like, it's dead, it's no more. I got it for $3. It had these like cuffs and this collar, and fit me like a glove, because I'm a pretty short, like petite person. So the sizing was perfect, the best. Do you have any tips for vintage shopping and finding some gems? Because you have an amazing collection, which is just second to none.
Well, I think what I would say is, people were made smaller then, shockingly.
Mm-hmm.
So we've grown,
Yeah.
since the 50s, and, even the 60s. I find the cuts, interestingly, different based on era.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you really, in terms of clothing, in terms of like maybe a full-on print dress,
Yeah.
you really need to know your body type
Yeah.
to do it well. And it might be easier and might be more interesting to concentrate on accessories,
Mm.
because vintage accessories are just as amazing, come with just as much character, but at a certain age,
Yeah.
you're not going to be like, there was a certain point where I used to buy the suede snap front mini skirt from the 70s, like nobody's business. I had it in every color. I had it, and I've got one left. She's hanging by a thread because she's a midi. Okay?
Right.
So there was a bit of a transition in terms of the vintage. I'm not going for the leather hot pants anymore,
Right.
but my interest in the accessories has only expanded.
Mm-hmm. I love it. That's so great. That's so, accessories, right? That's everything. Carla, oh my gosh. I feel like I could just talk your ear off, and I know that everyone probably has so many other questions. So definitely, if you have questions, leave them in our comments down below. We definitely want to hear from you. Carla, where can people reach you? Obviously we know we can find you everywhere, but where's your favorite place to hang out so that people can follow you and get to know you even more?
Well, there's the different platforms. There's obviously TikTok, and then Instagram. I do put out still shots on Insta and whatnot, and I seem to have an easier time navigating correspondence on with the DM thing that I've learned.
Yeah.
So so I guess Insta and YouTube. YouTube is one of my favorite platforms, because it allows me to explore myself in longer format.
Tell us about your line. So I know you said that your fine jewelry line. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'm excited by the line. I created it in Rajasthan, in northern Rajasthan, and my makers are literally descendants of the artisans of the Rajasthani, majesty of the day. I mean, if you're ever in Jaipur, India, it's a fascinatingly, it's just has the most beautiful history and aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
And so the line is very eclectic, and a lot of semi-precious carved
Mm-hmm.
pieces. This one here is a cluster of
Ooh.
roses cut.
Ooh.
It's all roses, and it's cut out of a whiskey topaz stone.
Ah, that is stunning. That color,
The whiskey topaz, right? And then the,
sexy.
these are my imperial frogs holding. See, there's little frogs
Oh,
there.
wow. So
And then
cool, so
holding a cluster
beautiful.
of black onyx daisies with enamel work. The beauty of working in India in terms of fine jewelry is that the culture sees the piece in a 360 format.
Mm,
So it'll be just as beautiful on the backside and
yeah,
just as worked on the backside
yeah.
as it is on the front side.
Love
I'm
that.
trying to get it off. I've been trying to get it off. But
Mhm.
now that I've got 2 jobs, now that
Right.
I've got like this social media experience as well,
Yes.
it's just a little slower. I
Yeah.
believe I'm going to start taking pictures and putting it on Insta pretty soon.
Amazing. Well, we will definitely be watching for it. Amazing. I mean, what you just showed us is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for being here with us today. You're absolutely fabulous. And I look forward to more great success for you and following along on your journey. It's fantastic. Bye.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, honey. Thank you for having me, everybody.